name is Mel Brown. Welcome to episode 42 of my crafting podcast. This is my fortnightly vlog about knitting, crochet, yarn dyeing, weaving, spinning, anything else that seems like a good idea at the time. I am an autistic woman living in North Yorkshire in the north of England with my husband, our 3 daughters, 2.5 daughters, come back to that, and 3 cats. You can find me on social media, on Instagram. I am Mel Brown Crafting Podcast. I'm also Creative Escape Retreats, which is my teaching business. And on Ravelry, I'm Funky40, and there's a Ravelry group for this podcast called Mel Brown Crafting Podcast. I say 2.5 daughters because one of them is away at uni. So this is her bedroom, my den, and I am up here today. It's not very quiet because the window's open because it's hot and sunny. Well, it's hot in here because it's sunny. And I don't know if there's enough space up there for me to write my captions, but we'll see, won't we? I'm going to try not to repeat myself too much today because I've already recorded some segments for this podcast earlier on because it was all a bit of a chaotic day. I'm going to tell you a bit more about where I got this from in that section, which I'll slot in at some point. I'm going to try and hold all this together, but I've no idea if it will work. So, hello. Lovely to see you. There's a lot going on. I'm calling this episode Life, the Universe and Everything. As obvious reference, it's episode 42 to Douglas Adams, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which we are all as a family very fond of. But also I feel like that's my worries at the moment. I am carrying the weight of life, the universe and everything. My daughter is sleeping in the room at the moment, although it's 2:15 in the afternoon. That's another issue. Right, let's crack on with it. Where are they now? What's happened with the projects you've already seen? Well, there's a memories blanket, the Lula scarf and tentacle. I haven't done anything on any of those, so I'm not going to mention those. I'll pick them up again very soon and tell you more about them. They are not abandoned, they are just snoozing in a corner. Okay, so what else had I already started last time? My hair's a bit wild, sorry about that. The girlfriend cowl. So this is some silk that I bought in a market in St Albans a couple of weeks ago from a lovely lady called Anne, who is Willow Knits. And I bought quite a few of these actually because I thought they were a really good price. Excuse me, green tea with salted caramel or something. And I love the colours, so I bought a few skeins of this. So I have used my first skein with Andrea, who does my blocking. She's the blocking queen. So appropriately, as we're both women and we're friends, we did the girlfriend cowl, which is a free pattern, and we both did it with our yarn. So here's mine. Talked a little bit about it last time. It's called tweed stitch. Very, very simple, just slipping and knitting. I just love the colours. They're just so beautiful. And I would equally have loved Andrea's because those are blues and greens. Really, really nice. So Andrea, we cast on at pretty much the same time, and we're actually going to cast off at the same time as well. But Andrea's already finished the knitting because she's going to have a shorter one. She's decided she just wants it to be, it's about that long, I think. Whereas I'm going to finish the ball because I love the way it's all scrunched up. I love the way that I could wear it like this if I wanted to, you know, rob a bank, maybe not. I could also wear it as a snood if I wanted to look like, I don't know, if I wanted, I could wear it like that. But mostly I can just have it all scrunched up like this. So I've got this much left. And I'm just going to carry on till I'm really at the end, and then we're going to get together for a coffee or something, and we're going to cast off together. It's very exciting. I've mentioned in the section on yarn acquisition that I've got some more yarn for us to do another one of these. Not this pattern, just another girlfriend project. We're both doing the same pattern at the same time. Really fun. It's absolutely gorgeous yarn. Really, really love it. I would recommend it definitely to give it a go. Right, let's get this off. Okay, so that's the girlfriend cowl. Almost finished. It will definitely be finished by the time I talk to you again. That is work in progress number 4. So it's in my bag that Sarah made me, which I've just got into a knot. Okay, right, next, Boomerang. This is Boomerang for hookers. I was making this for a friend and it is finished. I knew it would be, I couldn't put it down. So when I was actually holding it up against me last time, I thought, oh my goodness, what wonderful colours, and I am completely taken by it. What do you think? Actually, is it better on that side? I don't think there's a right or wrong side, but the join, I kind of wish the join of the yellow wasn't in the middle of a row there. That doesn't look so bad on that side. So here it is. It's absolutely lovely, and it's a really good size as well. So the concept of wearing it like this, I actually had it on the other day, and then I tied it in a knot at the end, and then I just kind of left that knot tight and loosened it around here, and it's just snuggly and lovely. It smells really sheepy and it's just gorgeous. I'm really happy with it. This pattern has come off Ravelry. I don't know why. Somebody was asking me about it after the last podcast, said, where do you get the pattern from? And Kath, you're both, aren't you? Was asking about it, but it's actually off Ravelry now. When I went to get the pattern for it the second time, it wasn't there, but I already had a copy of it on my hard drive, so it doesn't say taken down for any particular reason, so if you do want a copy of it, email me and I'll send it to you. But yeah, it's a lovely pattern, really quick to work up, really easy to memorize, and perfect for hand spun. Obviously you can use it for any other kind of yarn as well, but hand spun is perfect for it. So that's all done, and that's a Christmas present, which is going to go off later on next month, I would think. Finished object. Right, the mitt. This is just a what's it called, basket weave. Just half treble crochets for you UK folks, half doubles, yeah, front post, half doubles for the US peeps. Normally with front post and back post you do trebles and not half trebles, but I wanted it to be quite dense, and it worked. It's not as much fun because it's not as much of a post to go around, if you see what I mean, but it's still okay, and I enjoyed it. I've got this double segment here because I didn't bother to count my stitches. I really loved doing it, and it's just so beautiful. I can't remember what the yarn is. I took it downstairs. I showed it to you last time, didn't I? So that's all done. I've just been itching to use it, but I've been waiting to show it to you. So the idea is, in the shower, just get a bit of shower gel on there, and I can make that little bit of shower gel go a lot further with it. It's 100% cotton, unmercerized. So that's another finished object. So what about new whips on the block? Now then, bit of a spoiler alert. The Stephen West Mystery Knit Along Starflake. If you are doing it and you do not want spoilers, will you please jump ahead to this time? For those of you who are not doing it or don't care about spoilers, let's show you. So we got clue 1 on Friday last week, and it actually has 2 sections in it. And I bought yarn for this. You'll see in the segment on something new the actual yarn that I'm using, but I'll show you the project for now. So it started out, clue 1 was this star in the middle. So parallelograms with I-cord edging, I-cord bind off, and then stitches picked up for the next one. Section 2 is this around here. So you pick up stitches all the way around, and I made a right dog's dinner of that. I really messed it up. I had to do it all twice, and I didn't enjoy it at all, so I wasn't very happy with that, but that's okay. This is stocking stitch, and we are on the second section. I am really treating it as a mystery, so I'm not even looking ahead to I'm doing one row at a time. I'm not even looking ahead to the next row. I'm not looking at any pictures at all, so I have no idea what's going to happen next. But this is I know we're about to break the yarn because it says at the end of the next row, and I'm guessing I'm going to go into some kind of stripes, but I don't know what happens after that, and that this is only section 2, and I'm guessing if there's one section a week, then there'll be 6 sections altogether. I don't know. So it's great. I really enjoyed the first part, really loved doing it. Easy knitting, some quite tricky bits, but there was a video, he's done a video to help you, so that's cool. Really like the colours. It's greener than it's showing on screen. It's showing almost exactly the same colour as my hair, when it really isn't at all. I was looking at myself in the mirror, it is not the same colour as my hair at all, and yet it is showing exactly the same. That's weird, but never mind. So what was I going to say about that? Can't remember. Anyway, I'm enjoying it. It's really, really good. Oh yeah, my friend Kathy, so there's 3 of us doing it together. My 2 American friends that I know through the podcast, never met, Kathy and Andrea. Kathy and Adriana, they're both doing this as well, or they're going to be. We haven't started yet, but Kathy had said that she saw somebody had put a stripe of a 3rd colour in here just for badness, just for a bit of fun, which I thought I might do, just for a bit of amusement. Anyway, so there it is. Really happy with it. The whole mystery thing is really working for me. I was always a control freak and couldn't handle the idea. And to be honest, the finished object for last year's mystery knit along with Stephen West, I don't actually like it very much. So it was a bit of a gamble, but I'm really loving it so far. And the yarn is fab, which you will see all about that in the next section. Okay, so one other new project is the Rick socks. Did I show you them last time? I was going to get the book. I think I showed you them last time. I'll give you a quick flick. They're from this cool book, Sock Innovation by Cookier, and I'll show you a quick pic of what they're going to look like without showing you the pattern. So yeah, that's pretty cool. They're quite fancy. They're for my eldest daughter for Christmas, and I started those, and really just started them. There's nothing really much done. It's a 2x2 twisted rib. Can't tell you much about the pattern obviously, but that's not a big deal. There they are. Aren't they cute? Little one. It's quite snug. I've already gone up, because it's just kind of a one size pattern. I've gone up from 2.25mm to 2.75, which is my standard needles. These are the higher. No, they're not. They're the Chow Goose. It's a bit tight. She's got very, very similar size feet to me, so I can try them on me, and it's a bit snug over the heel, but that's okay, because you try to get it over your heel. That's okay. I don't mind it being snug, because less likely to fall down if it's snug. But we'll see how it goes later on, because it's obviously a top down, obviously. We'll see how the heel fits. So this side seems to be almost all blues and whites. And do you remember the skein? I'll show you a picture of the skein. So it's largely blues and whites, and then there's some deep red and some bright red in there. So that's coming out quite interestingly so far. As I was saying last time, I've got no idea whether... I really loved it in the skein. I'm not so keen on it in the ball. I wonder how it will be in the project. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. So that's brand new. Okay, so that is, let me think, 4, 5, 6 works in progress at the moment, which is fairly standard for me. I am just about to kick off a pair of skews for my second daughter, and if you're very smart and you're thinking you've already made socks for your second daughter, I know, but I wanted to make another pair. So I've got the yarn for that at Yarndale, which you'll see in a bit. I'm going to make another pair of skews with them, excuse me. Excellent. Right, something new. So I'm going to show you this segment now that I've recorded earlier. Hello. This is definitely not the most flattering angle, but never mind. I am going to show you some of the new things I've got. Very, very excited about them. You know, if you've watched before, that I went for the first half of the year without buying any yarn, and haven't really bought much since then. But I went to Yarndale and I got a box from a friend, and I have tons of yarn, so I just need to show you everything. Okay, let's start with my lovely friend in the US. We met through the podcast, I send her stuff and she sends me stuff, and it's absolutely lovely. Now, she arranged for me to get a box from Dina's Home of Crafts. Now, do you remember the Flying South socks I made? Actually, Flying North pattern with some lovely pink yarn from this lady. So I've got a whole package from her this time, and it's one of those when you don't know what's going to be in it, and it's just so exciting. So we started off with this on the top. This is just a kind of just total autumn, or fall if you're American. We call it autumn, obviously. It's total autumn for me. We have what, Virginia creepers, you might call them. Do you call them that? Where the leaves turn this colour in the one of my friends, Andrea, she's got a bush of this, I think, or whatever you call it, plant. Anyway, I'm going to drape that artistically round myself just to remind you that it is autumn. And that is the theme of this box. So there is a little stitch marker in it, which is a little maple leaf, which is this. It's a crochet stitch marker or knitting, because it opens and closes like the last one was, with the flip flop I got last time. And then lots and lots of goodies. We have a little wax melt. Now I've got one of those little machines, electric wax melter, right next to my bed, and it's lovely. It's kind of cinnamony. Doesn't actually say. Autumn Winds is all it says. But it was made in Massachusetts. That's interesting, because the lady who does this is in the UK. But obviously this is not from the UK, Massachusetts, which always seems to be pronounced without the T's, but anyway, can't wait to try that. I've been waiting, obviously, till I can speak to you guys. And there is some white hot chocolate and a little needle. Now 2.75 millimeters is the needle I use all the time, but unfortunately I have massive hands, and these tiny needles, actually if my fingers are on the end, it doesn't reach to my palm, so I'm gonna have to find a new owner for that, but it's lovely. I love symphony. And then there's the main event, this. The colourway is maple leaf. It's 4-ply superwash merino and nylon. Isn't it gorgeous? That's the thing I love about this kind of thing. It's not the kind of yarn I would buy myself, but it's just so beautiful. And that is definitely going to be socks for me. Maybe in something, I don't know how long do it. Let's take the label off. I never do this until I've shown it to you, because I can never skein them up again the way they are properly. Can't even get it off the flipping whatnot now. There we go. So the repeat. Oh, look at that. Oh, there's an awful lot of, oh yeah, look at that. So there's a lot of orange all there together, and then you get the yellows, and then you get all the green, and then the speckles of kind of dark brown. That is amazing. So I was wondering whether that would work with a skew, because as you know, I do love my skew socks. Don't know, but I suspect it would, and that would be my favourite way to use anything, is to make a skew sock. So yeah, I think that's what that's going to become. Oh, and there's a little brown, not contrast, what's it called? Complementing colour for heels and toes. Well, skew doesn't have separate heels and toes, so that will be great for using in other heels and toes, or in some other project. Really cute. Okay, so I'm going to put that all back in the box. I think I'm going to take this off now because it is really annoying me, although it's lovely. So thank you very much, Adriana, for that. Very exciting. And thank you, Dina. I can't wait to start using those. Right, so the highlight of my crafting year is Yarndale, which is a yarn festival in Skipton, North Yorkshire, and it's a 2-day event, Saturday and Sunday, but I only go for one day. It's enough for me, one day. went on a Sunday this year, but I was rather concerned about it because of the cycle race. The UCI cycle race came through Harrogate, completely tore up the town, made a mess of everything. And I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get home, but I went anyway because it's Yarndale. And I was so glad I did. I'm just looking at this mass of stuff here. I went proper bonkers. I don't really know where to start, but I think I'll start with the commercial yarn, because one of the things that Yarndale is great for is indie dyers. So there's very little commercial yarn there, as a result I didn't actually buy much, but I wanted to show you what I've got. So you guys who've watched before know how much I love Zalba ball. Well, my friend Linda bought me a ball of Zalba ball to thank me for driving her there, and I bought another one. So they're absolutely gorgeous, aren't they? Oh, colours, I mean, they look so beautiful together. You could almost think that you could do a shawl, a 2-colour shawl with these two. Actually, do you know, until this very moment, that hadn't occurred to me. Goodness me, that would be so beautiful. Right, okay, I need to look for a pattern for that. Oh, look, you can see the way the colours go there. Although, to be honest, it's not a particularly accurate representation of the colours, is it? But anyway, it's a slow change. I'm wondering if it's Zalba ball 100. It doesn't say on there, but you know, I've used Zalba ball 100 before, and it's a much slower change than the kind of quick with a pair of socks, you know, 2 or 3, 4 rounds before the colour changes. It's a much slower change. But no, it doesn't call it that. I don't know. Anyway, very, very happy with those, and particularly excited now I've come up with a plan. And this, oh, I've got a bit of fibre or something in my mouth. This is West Yorkshire Spinners, a local commercial yarn, and it's in 4 shades of pink. I'm going to make a skew with these for my second daughter, because I made those Kaime socks for her and they're finished way ahead of time, and I want to make more socks. So I got this for her. West Yorkshire Spinners, usually absolutely brilliant, and I love the colours. It's really soft. So it's just standard 4-ply, 75% wool, 25% nylon, 400 metres. So that's going to be a lovely pair of skews and some left over for my blanket. Okay, on to easy knits. Now, some might say I have a problem. I don't. I'm absolutely mad about easy knits yarn. It's a yarn dyer based in the UK, a guy called John, and he has the most amazing eye for colour. I can spot his stand all the way across the room, and I can't wait to get there. I went there twice this time, and I bought tons at both visits. So let's look at the first, just for sheer joy, stuff that I bought here. So this is a Deeply Wicked. I've used this space before, so it's a really good representation of the colours in here. The pinks, the purples, and then this beautiful chocolate brown. I'm not a big brown fan, but brown with pink. It's like grey. I don't like grey much, but with pink, you see, that's just beautiful. Look at that. So that colourway is Cupcake Dream. So that's just for the fun of just owning it, just owning that skein, and being able to look at it every few months is going to justify the money I paid for that. But I will at some point use it as well. Into that same category is this one. I mean, look at that. Audrey 2, which is obviously a reference to A Little Shop of Horrors. And my youngest was behind the scenes helper at a production of A Little Shop of Horrors last year. So that's quite nice. Look at this purple. I mean, just look at that. How does this happen? It's just so beautiful. I can't wait to try a pair of socks with that. Okay. So then, you know, the Shift, which was the little cowl from Andrea Mowry that I made, and I made one with Shapius stonewashed. Well, I wanted to try a DK version. So I wanted to get 3 or 4 colours, because it's written for sport weight, so you can't exactly tell what I'll show you my nails over here, exactly what yardage or meterage you need for it in DK, but the projects that have been done with it had somewhere between 600 and 800 meters, which is kind of 3 or 4 skeins. But it's written for 3 colours, but I wasn't going to do like 2 skeins of one colour and another 2. That wouldn't make sense. So I bought 4 different colours. Had a little bit of challenge choosing them, so John came over and helped me. I'll put in a picky of me and John. So he helped me with the colours, and as a result they are absolutely amazing. So obviously, because it's mosaic knitting, you're looking for contrast. Beautiful. Matching my hair. Absolutely delighted with these. I don't know exactly how I'm going to work it, because I don't want to just keep one and for the end if I need it, because that wouldn't make sense. So I'm going to look at the pattern and look at what colours it chooses, because the first one I just kind of use up leftovers, so it was random. But this one I'm actually going to work out what colours I want so that I make sure they all get a good look in. Oh, that's beautiful. So it's superwash merino and nylon double knit. This one's called, it says Mermaid's Tears. I don't know what that's a reference to. Mermaid's Tears. Somebody explain that if you know. That one's honey. This one is plummy, and this one is spacewalk. It's a bit random, isn't it? I love that. Spacewalk. So it's a solid, but no, it's a semi-solid. You know, it's that kind of comes across, doesn't it? Oh, I love it. I'm so excited about it. Now, the one other thing I bought, I actually bought a couple of skeins for Andrea that she requested, because she couldn't make it, unfortunately. So I had to go over to her house and show her all the millions of skeins I bought. But you know, we were doing the girlfriend cowl together with that silk. We still are. We're going to cast that off together, but I'll talk about that at a different part. So I bought that silk, and we both had a skein, and we both did a project together called the girlfriend cowl. Well, I said, let's do another project together. I'll get you the skein of the same as me, and we'll do another one together. And she said, yes, let's make rainbow. Anyway, I was on the Easy Knit stand and I found this. Well, I challenge you not to love that. It's just the most beautiful thing I may have ever seen. It's, what's the colourway name? I can't find the colourway name. Anyway, it doesn't actually matter, because it's just too beautiful not to buy. So I bought a sweet each one of those. It's got quite a high twist on it, isn't it? Look at that. It's just... And it's another one that just, if it sat in the skein for the rest of my life, it would give me joy enough to justify paying it for the price for it. But she will come up with a pattern for us both to do together. But then after that, I remembered that she said rainbow. Oops. So later on, my eye was caught by a rainbow skein. Here it is. It's 5 moons, hand painted. There's a bit of fluff from somewhere else there. It's more glitter, definitely glitter. It's my thing at the moment. Just beautiful. It's called Nebula, and it's superwash merino and nylon and stellina. So I gave her both skeins and said, which one do you want? And she said, well, obviously both. So we'll have to think of 2 projects to do together. So basically, we're just going to keep doing projects together, which is brilliant. And I'll tell you about them if you want to join in. You're very welcome to as well. Oh, I love yarn so much. Andrea says that she has 2 hobbies. There's knitting, crochet, crafting, whatever, and then there's buying yarn. And they are 2 very different hobbies, and they don't have to relate to each other. To which I totally agree. With which. Okay, what next? It's a bit chaotic in here. When I planned to record today, I expected to have the house to myself. But hubby didn't go away because he's got a back injury. My daughter hasn't gone to school because she's just totally overwhelmed with life. And some work we were expecting to be done in 2 weeks is being done today. So we have a house full. So apologies for any background noise. Right, so the mystery knit along Stephen West, I needed 2 skeins each of 2 different colours. Okay, the work has progressed downstairs, so I have come upstairs. Okay, so the Stephen West Mystery Knit-along Starflake. I needed 2 skeins, each of 2 different colours of sock play, 4-ply sock yarn, and I went to Giddy Aunt Yarns for that. It's a really interesting name for me because that is a phrase. I don't know if you US guys will appreciate it, but oh my giddy aunt is a phrase that we use quite a lot in the UK. Well, some people do, and I particularly like it as a phrase. So Giddy Aunt Yarns really appealed to me, and she had some lovely colours, and I went for these 2. So it's a platinum sock, superwash merino and nylon. This one's called Storm, and this one's called Curacao, which of course is really poignant to me because last year Dave and I went to Curacao, so they're perfect together. I just love them. I did go for, when I first went over there was a kind of cerise pink next to this, and I went for the 2 of them together, and I thought, actually no, that's a bit too obvious for me. So I went for a slightly darker one. Anyway, 2 skeins each of these. The other 2 are already balled up and in use, which you will see in another part of the show. So really enjoy those 2 colours together, and what you need for the mystery knit-along is contrast, and clearly there's pretty great contrast there. Okay, now then, Adelaide Walker is a local company to me that does fibre and wheels and weaving stuff and all kinds of fab stuff. I got just a couple of little bits of fluff from there. This one for me. So this mustard colour, you'll see, and I've started to really enjoy that. And it's just 3 pieces together of 3 different colours. Now they're not showing so well up here. So there's the cerise one and the deep purple. And they're just so beautiful together, and because they're in 3 separate pieces, I can spin them how I want. So I can spin, I don't know exactly how I'll spin them, but they're not all mixed in together. I don't particularly like fibre when there are lots of different colours all mixed in together. I mean, it's great, there's a place for it, and in fact my first ever bat from Spin City was like that, and that's what I made this gorgeous beast with, but it's not really what I'm looking for right now. So really pleased with that. And there's another one which is in colours that a certain friend of mine absolutely loves, and I'm not going to show you that because she watches. I actually bought lots and lots of bits and pieces of gifts for various friends, which I'm not going to show you because they watch. I showed you a quick flash, did you see it? Okay, right, so that's all the fibre I've got for me. Whilst we were having coffee, I met up with Gemma B Makes. She's a Leeds podcaster, and we meet up frequently. She's absolutely lovely, and we met up for a coffee at Yarndale. I was a bit over coffeed by that point. I was a bit hyper, but she bumped into a lovely lady called Suzanne from these guys, and she gave out a little bag, a little gift. And Gemma very cheekily said, "Can I have one from our friend Mel?" So I got one as well, and then I went over and had a chat to Suzanne later. So in the little bag, it's just a total freebie. There's this gorgeous little stitch marker with a gingerbread man on, and again it's her knitting or crochet because it's clippable. And inside this bag, a little brown bag. Those of you who are my age will totally relate to these. The Brits anyway. Fruit salad and blackjack, little sweeties. And also a Mawam, which is a bit more modern. Tea, vanilla chai, not tried that before, but I'm always up for new teas. And the best bit, look at this, look more sparkle, absolutely gorgeous. The colour name is Jewel Mine, and it's on her sparkle sock base. So really happy with that. I'm going to be looking at Suzanne for some other yarns in the future, because I just love the way she's coloured that, and that I think that will be in my blanket. I think that's an unusual yarn for me. It's got so many different colours in it, so that's going to look absolutely gorgeous in my blanket. Look at that teal there. Oh, So really excited about that. Thank you, Suzanne. Lovely to meet you. Sorry if I was a little bit hyper at that point. So I'm putting that back in the bag. Okay, what else did I get? It's not finished yet. Actually, this one isn't me. Somebody, because I took two of the ladies, picked them up because it was really difficult to get in and out of Harrogate at the time. So I went to Harrogate and picked up the ladies, took them to the festival. I didn't actually take them home because I was worried that I couldn't get home. So they went home on the bus. But look at these. Aren't they lovely? So the other lady bought me, one of the ladies bought me Zambul, the other lady bought me this. So 2 little skeins from Wool is the Answer, electric blue and magenta. So absolutely perfect for heels and toes. So quite often when I'm doing, not a skew sock, but a sock that has a stitch pattern and there's the sort of stripes of the yarn, I don't want to affect the way the stripes look, I'll put in a contrasting heel. I don't often do a contrasting toe unless I'm running short of yarn, and I very rarely do a contrasting cuff, again unless I've only got sort of 40-50 grams of yarn and I want to make a full pair of socks. But these will be great for all kinds of heels and toes because they're just so my colours, so they'll fit in with the yarn that I'm buying. So they're absolutely gorgeous. And okay, what next? Cat and Sparrow. So I had a lovely chat with Rachel from Cat and Sparrow. We met last year because my friend had bought me a little Turkish spindle from her. We had a little chat, and this year we had another little chat, and yeah, she's lovely, really lovely. So I got some of this. So you can see again my colours coming through. There's the teal and the purple. This is hand-dyed fibre. Let me see, it's BFL and silk. No, it's Wensleydale and silk. Isn't it gorgeous? Now let me just... Zen Garden is the colourway. And it's... I haven't undone the braid yet because again I wanted to keep it looking nice for you. But now you've seen it, I'm going to undo the braid and see exactly how it pans out. What's this random bit here? What's that doing? So it kind of morphs. I think I've undone it the wrong end. Kind of morphs through the colours. Yeah, at the end I should have done. Silly me. So I have no idea how I'm going to spin that, but I'll have fun trying. I might just break the whole thing down the middle and just spin it as one and then just ply it together and see what happens. It's just beautiful. I mean, look at the silk, the way the silk affects that. Oh, I'm going to have to cut this short because a lovely man who's doing our work has moved upstairs now. So he's next door. So beautiful, love that. And whilst I was there, I also decided to get this, which is Superwash Blue Faced Leicester and silk. I got 2 colours, they're both greens. I'm not really a greens person, but you wouldn't know, would you, from recent purchases? Maybe I've spread over from teal into green. Anyway, those 2 are gorgeous. They're really, really soft, and the way the colour is taken on the BFL is really quite amazing. It's actually 45% silk. And let me have a look. This is DK. I think I bought this because, hang on a sec, okay. So yes, I had bought a skein of double knit yarn, probably 100 grams, from Yarn Etc. because I totally adored it, and I saw it right near the end of my yarn buying break, and I thought, well, I'll put that aside. And I bought it sort of early July. Didn't really have any plans for it, but it's a bit lonely, so I thought these 2 would go quite nicely. But you know what, I've got absolutely no idea whether they will or not because I haven't put them together with it yet. So my plan of only buying yarn when I've got a plan for it was a bit, well, most of it I kind of did, so I'm not going to beat myself up. Now this one I'm showing, although it's not for me. It is Fruitful Fusion. I met the lady from this and we had a lovely talk. It was near the end of the day and we were both very tired, and it was the second day of the festival, so she was very, very tired. And look at those colours. So if you're one of my friends and you think, oh my goodness, that's so my colour, this is probably because it's for you. But anyway, so I just thought that was absolutely beautiful. It's superwash merino and nylon, fingering weight. It's 425 metres, so it's obviously quite fine. Love it. And finally, the last thing I bought, I bought this because it looks amazing. I absolutely have no idea what I'm going to do with it, but you know I like rainbows, right? So this is minis. The whole thing is 150 grams. So 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, isn't there? It's a rainbow, yep. 750. So there must be 20 grams plus a bit each. And the way they've been presented like this, I mean, it's, you know, if you kind of work it out, it's not that difficult to do. They've just but it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Now it's from Scotland. It's Kinross 4-ply. It's from Wee County Yarns. It's 100% superfine lamb's wool. So it feels nice, but the lady on the stall said there's some instructions on the website about how to wash it first, because there's a lot of oil in it, and you need to wash that off. So I need to be careful to follow those instructions, but I have no idea what I'll do with it. But oh my goodness, it's just gorgeous. So 150 grams of 4-ply. It's going to have to be a shawl, isn't it? Oh, it's going to be so beautiful. Do you know, there's some of the, what's her name, Martina Baim, sort of kind of geometric shapes. They need two different colours, and one needs more than 100 grams. What's it called? The one anyway, there was one that I started, but I realised I didn't have enough yardage for it. But this might be really good with a neutral colour, like a black or a grey or something, in one of Martina Baim's. I love her patterns. Right, that's it. Do you think I went proper bonkers, or do you think I was quite restrained? Well, actually that wasn't all, because there was the 2 skeins that I gave to Andrea. Well, she insisted on paying me for them, but they were meant to be a gift. And the 2 skeins that I bought for Andrea. And a few bits and pieces of presents. So, that is my stash from Yarndale. And back to me, and I have one other thing to add. I did check on, you know, that Cat and Sparrow DK, I bought the greens. I checked to put it with the teal. Holy moly, you could have bought them. I should have brought it up. I'll show you next time. I could have bought them for each other. They are so beautiful. It's not a massive contrast. It's not like if you were doing a contrast project. It's not like that. But they complement each other beautifully. So I'm really, really pleased with that. I need to find a project for 3 skeins of DK. The other thing I wanted to show you on something new is I have my first Learn to Weave day on Saturday, so it's now Wednesday. I've been really excited about this. Do you remember when I went to St Albans and I went to that yarn shop and I bought that really weird big yarn? That was for this. And I just feel that Learn to Weave days are going to be a really big thing for me next year. As I probably said, I'm taking a step back from days. But this is the last day I've got. I've also got a retreat next month, which is going to be quite intense. But in December, I'm looking at my calendar here, I haven't got any days in December. I'm just going to recover in December. And then in January, I'm going to start offering days again. And my Learn to Crochet days have been fab. But I want to introduce Learn to Weave days. And I think they're going to be absolutely spectacular, because I have got so much stuff. I've got loads and loads of yarn. I've got that weird stuff as I showed you, and it's so easy to find odds and ends and weird bits of yarn for it, because, you know, one weird random ball you find in a sale, bin end sale, whatever, is perfect, because that will do several, you know, a little bit in several projects. So and I'm really inspired by the weaving at the moment. I just feel like it's such a great craft to teach people, because it's an opportunity to be so artistic, with no experience, no rules, no following a pattern, no doing what you're told. In fact, I'm doing a session, let me look, in November. Actually no, it's at the end of this month, October. I'm doing a session for autistic children and their families on weaving. I'm going to warp up the little looms and then just leave them to it, and they can do whatever they fancy. So what am I rambling on about? I got a mixed bag from, there it is, Top Ends and Scraps, a lucky dip bag, 300 grams of mixed fibre from Fibre Hut, which is down south in the UK. I really love them. They're really good people. They've been really good to me when I've messed up, but they've been really good to me. So I got this mixed bag of fibre because when you're weaving, it's nice to put a bit of fibre into a weave. Have I got something I can show you? I've got fibre in there, but you don't need an awful lot, and different textures. It's all about different textures and different whatevers. This, incidentally, was one that some of my people I was teaching crochet to had to go out, and somebody's added all these bits and from the crochet workshop at the end of that. So yeah, that's a community project. That's not going to stay, is it? Okay, so I got this bag, and I'll just show you some of the highlights. Look at this unicorn rainbow type thing. There's some. I'm getting a lot better at telling what fibre something is. This is another kind of rainbow thing, but it feels quite ropey. It feels like there's something, some different fibre in it. I'm not quite exactly sure what it is. This one, I'm certain that's got some silk in it. Can you see that shine? This is a really interesting one, some nuts in it. Various different. This has got some silk. Looks like tussar silk. And then there's this. Oh my goodness, that is almost certainly merino. Or it may even be. It may even be. Oh, I don't know. I'm not going to make a fool of myself by guessing, but there's definitely something in here that feels like it's got some linen in it. This one. Oh, it's so soft that I'm sure that one's merino. And yeah. So basically, did you see the looms from the last workshop? The one I did the day we dropped my daughter off at uni. I'll just show you them here. So you can see everybody had a different colour scheme they were planning. So being able to just drop, if somebody's got a reds and oranges colour scheme, I can just drop this one next to them and they can work out how they want to use it, or if they want to use it, and maybe add in that one. And if you've got a bit of the blues and the greens going on, there's some bits and pieces. Oh, it's just absolutely lovely, and it smells like a great big sheep. So yeah, really excited about that, and that's a really good deal. So I recommend that if you're weaving. Yeah, that feels like it's just pulled off a horse. Wow, that is just amazing. So that's the other something new. There we go. Okay, what else? I finished a weave. I think I showed it to you right at the beginning. Let me show you that as well. And then I just got a bit bored with it, and I started it at a weaving workshop. Actually, this is the very end of my Fibre Spates fairy wings that I used for the brilliant crochet project, crochet along. Oh, I spoke to crochet project on Sunday at Yarndale. Well, not the crochet project. I spoke to, oh my god, Cat Golding and what is wrong with me? Joanne's Grace. I spoke to Joanne's Grace. I made a fool of myself because I didn't know what she looked like, but I said, oh, you by any chance Cat or Joanne? She said, yes, I'm Joanne. Very excited. Took a selfie and everything. Here it is. Very excited. So I was asking her whether she's going to do another mystery crochet along, because there was one that started on New Year, Christmas, Boxing Day, and this is the yarn I bought for that. It was Echo Chamber. I love that. Really love. My daughter was wearing that to school the other day. That was her Christmas present, birthday present. There've been one since, and I love them both. I really want them to do another one, but work-life balance and everything. Joanne, if you haven't got time for it, it's all right, my love. You've got to put your kids first. Anyway, sage advice from Mel. So it's done. I was trying to do so I can do one with all 4-ply, because other stuff I tend to, once I get out here, I tend to start using thicker stuff. The other thing about this, oh yeah, I'll just show you the back. Look at that, so neat and tidy. You can see how I've just pulled my warp threads in behind there really lazily, and I'll get a piece of cardboard and I'll just glue that on. It's a bit cheaty, but that's okay. I like it. So that's going in with my collection. And one other thing is I did a mandala embroidery workshop. So my friend Amanda, who runs Mooland Gifts, we are collaborating on a program to provide craft classes every month at a pub near us. It's a lovely, great big place. It's got a disabled toilet and really, really nice people in there. And we're running a session once a month, although we might make it more than once a month if there's enough market, which seems there is, because the last workshop filled up really, really quickly. And this was the last workshop, mandala embroidery. So Amanda provided us with a hoop and our piece of cotton already marked up, loads and loads of choices of thread, and we basically went to have at it, basically. Just made up our own stuff as we went along. I nicked this idea from the lady opposite me, made that one up completely. That was one of Amanda's. This is my favourite embroidery stitch. It's a really smart, cute little thing. It's very creative, like weaving. You don't have any rules, you make it up as you go along. The only sort of general concept is that it's symmetrical, it's in a circle, so you do the same, more or less the same thing all the way around. But other than that, you just make it up as you go along and just use up ends. You see, this is another thing about using up scraps and ends. Weaving is so good for that. So this is perfect in a sort of in the same vein. You can just pick up little scraps and use them. So I haven't done any more on that since the workshop, which I'm really disappointed about because I really wanted to crack on with it, but I love it. And I'm definitely going to do some more on it. I've chosen a kind of green colour scheme. You can't actually see that, but these are green. And then the outer ones are grey, so it's probably going to be quite a random colour. Anyway, I'm really pleased with that. Okay, so that's that and that's that. Okay, plans, weaving workshop, told you about that. Okay, so that's more or less all of the crafting stuff. If that's all you've come for, then thank you for watching. If you're new, well done, you got all the way through to here. If you're a long-standing watcher, thank you for coming back. I really do appreciate it. I am going to record something. The retreat is the 4th of November, which right now is about 4 weeks away. And I'm doing, for the first time ever, a workshop on dyeing. We're doing it at the local yarn shop, which is Yarn Etc. And we're going to do microwave dyeing. Now, I've done a little bit. The first ever yarn I ever dyed, what was that called? Dye One Skein. Was it episode 3? I'll put it up here. I did some microwave dyeing, but I haven't done any since then. I've used water and on the hob. So I'm going to do some practice, but what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to record that as a little separate video. What my process is, what my plans are, what went well, what went badly, and then show you the finished objects. Because then I'll use those finished objects to inspire the retreat guests to have some thoughts about what they might do themselves when they're going to get 2 skeins each, either DK or fingering weight yarn, to dye any way they want, either solid, semi-solid, hand painted, sprinkles, whatever you fancy. Sprinkles, not really the phrase. Speckles. So I need to do quite a variety of different yarns, different techniques and stuff. So I'm going to have a go at that and record as much as I can of that. Because a lot of people said, when I asked the question for the giveaway, what would you like to learn about? A lot of people said they'd like to learn about dyeing. And there's so much stuff out there, but that's the problem. It's really difficult to pick out which bit you're going to watch. So I will do a little video on that. Okay, thank you for watching, you guys who just want the craft stuff. I'm now going to talk a little bit about personal stuff. So my autistic daughter, who's asleep over there, we are really struggling, She's almost nocturnal. She's up all night and she's asleep all day. And this week, I think it was Monday, she slept right through from school starting till 6 p.m. and I try and wake her up, but I can't. She kind of talks to me sometimes as if she's awake, and I say, would you get up, and she says, yeah. She goes back to sleep. Now we all know that teenagers need a lot of sleep and that their rhythms are different to adults and that they're more likely to want to sleep between midnight and midday, but to stay asleep conked out completely until 6 p.m. is just bonkers. So we've got a nurse that we're working with now to try and deal with her sleep issues. And we've gotten some work done in the house because she can't sleep in her bedroom. She has real issues with her bedroom, paranoia and whatever. But she likes to sleep in the downstairs office. So we are moving Dave's office upstairs so that she can have the downstairs room, and hopefully she'll sleep better there. So that's a longer term project. It's creating massive upheaval at the moment, but hopefully that will be a step in the right direction. So what else? Husband was supposed to be in the States right now, but last weekend his back started to hurt, and this week it has gone down the pan massively. He's in absolute agony. We think he's probably slipped a disc. He had a back injury, a back operation, when this one was small, so probably 13 years ago. And it looks like he's going to have it again. I don't know. We'll have to see, but he was meant to be going to the States. He's had to cancel his business trip, which is absolutely disastrous for him because of his work, but also for me because I was really, really looking forward to a week of being on my own. He was going to be away for the weekend as well, and I just love having a weekend on my own. So much as I love him and I want him to be around, it was quite disappointing for me. And I've got kind of the worst of both worlds, really. I've got to do all the work, so I still have to do all the cooking and everything. Dave can't do anything at all at the moment. He can stand up for a couple of minutes, and that's really it. So he's been able to do very, very little. So I'm doing all the work as if he's away, but I'm not getting time on my own, and I'm having to look after him as well. I don't sound very sympathetic, do I? I am sympathetic. He's in a lot of pain. I really wish he wasn't, but just, you know, it's all about me, really, basically, isn't it? And the pressure of Annie's situation, my little daughter, with her autism. She's getting panic attacks, she's getting all kinds of things, and it's never happened before. It's just getting worse and worse all the time, and she's becoming more and more dependent on me for that. In the night, she comes to me in the night almost every night, and nobody else will do, apart from if there's a spider, in which case Dad will do if he can actually get out of bed at the moment because of the pain. He'll come and mash a spider for her. But other than that, it needs to be me, and the pressure of that and the fact that I need to look after Dave is all just getting too much for me. But something really interesting happened. You know, I was saying for a while that I think some of the symptoms I've been experiencing in my life for the last 10 years that I thought were down to hormones or menopause or goodness knows what I thought they were down to. And I thought actually it may well be that they're down to autistic burnout. Well, this week something really interesting happened. I haven't had, for the whole of September, I haven't had one of these terrible headaches. I get a headache usually about once a month. It lasts for 3 solid days. I'm totally incapacitated. No pain medication touches it except for codeine, which is an opiate, and that only eases it while the codeine's there. As soon as the codeine's out of my system, it's back. Sleeping doesn't help it, obviously, and it's been dreadful, and trying to work out what's causing it has been very hit and miss. Well, I hit upon the idea a few weeks ago, I think I mentioned it, that it may be to do with autistic burnout. That basically I spent an awful lot of time with people being totally overwhelmed by it, but not realising that was what was going on, not realising why I was so tired and etc., not taking time on my own to recharge. And this week, whole of September, because I've recognised that and done lots of stuff. If I'm with people, I spend some time on my own. I'm spending evenings on my own when I need to. September was the first calendar month since at least 2015. That's when I first started keeping records. First calendar month when I haven't had one of my headaches, which was absolutely massive for me because 3 days a week I've been incapacitated. Usually 2 of those days are a weekend. It's really grim. So that was great. But Monday this week I had a headache. And on Sunday, my youngest daughter's got head lice again. And I don't know if you've ever had head lice in your family with a child who has long, thick hair, but it's a nightmare. And particularly she has sensory issues, so combing her hair is really painful for her, really uncomfortable for her. So having to comb with that tiny little knit comb all of her hair repeatedly is such a horrible experience for everybody. And Dave and I were doing that together when suddenly his back pain went through the roof and he was in absolute agony. So he's, you know, howling in pain. And Annie was just completely panicked by it. Obviously, her dad, who's this big, strong guy, is howling in pain. She had a panic attack. So there's me in the kitchen. The eldest daughter is off at uni. The middle daughter is upstairs, trying to work out who to deal with. And actually, as it turns out, I couldn't help Dave at all. So I just helped Annie to get through the panic. But the pressure of all of that and having to be the person who does everything and realizing that Dave wasn't going to go away, Monday morning I woke up with a crashing headache, and I had things I needed to do, so I took medication and I had to take quite a bit. And that the opiates, if you've taken them before, they make you sleepy, they make me nauseous, they give me constipation a couple of days after. It's horrible. And you know, they make me, when I've taken a full dose, and I've got quite a heavy prescription, I can be really jittery and high. Oh, it's really horrible. And then on Tuesday I decided that I was going to treat my headache with what I needed, not with medication, but with what I needed, which was solitude and rest. So I cancelled what I was going to do. I was going to record the podcast yesterday, but I cancelled that, and I tried to get rid of everything that I could that was meant to be doing, and just relaxed, looked at Christmas presents. That's when I cast on the Rick socks, worked on the mystery cowl, and just kind of looked after myself, spent as much time as I possibly could on my own. And I did it. I cured the headache. And that is such a massive breakthrough for me. It's amazing. And you know, it's not the end of the road. There's going to be a lot of other challenges to get through, but I think I've proven to myself that the headaches are autism related, and therefore if I can look after myself, I can prevent them happening, which I have done. And if things do get out of hand and I do get one, then I know how to treat it. So yeah, I'm absolutely delighted with that. I'm a little heartbroken about this though. Have you seen this? Do you remember when I got it? It's a jade heart. My brother and sister-in-law bought it for me in New Zealand, and I have worn it since the day they gave it to me. I haven't taken it off. And it's got this lovely leather strap, and I just love it. I've been wearing it in the shower. My brother wears his in the shower all the time, but I've managed to pull it, and it was twisted and the knots come undone. I don't know how to redo it, so I will have to. I thought I'd actually broken it. I was really, really upset, and it's just gone. We can fix it. So I'll be doing this. So there it is. I will get it fixed. True. My sister-in-law, she watches the podcast, and I'll get it fixed. Okay, right. I think that's it. Yeah. Thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. I enjoy recording the podcast, and I love responding to comments, and getting a lot of comments from the States at the moment, and it's great chatting with you about what I'm doing. So do get in touch. If you've enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. If you want to hear more, click subscribe and the little bell thing. If there's anything I've said that you've sparked an interest in you, then do put a comment below. But also there's a link below that will take you over to Ravelry, and there's clickable links to all the patterns. Now, if you are somebody who is no longer using Ravelry and you want to get links to the patterns, message me on Instagram or my email, and I'll see if they're available off of Ravelry. Because often Ravelry takes you off of Ravelry onto a website, doesn't it? So if there's a pattern that you're interested in but you're not on Ravelry, message me and I'll see if I can get you a link for it. Okay, is that it? I usually forget something. I'm looking around for inspiration. Okay, I think that's it. Thanks for watching. Have a great 2 weeks. Happy crafting, and I'll see you soon. Bye.